Go! I hold him up.
Stop manipulating me! Stop!
This morning, I woke up today and this morning. In the morning I woke up this morning, I woke up. And remember that every morning that I wake up, I woke up that day. Just remember that.
Walk me through your fit and tell me how much everything costs.
Supreme t-shirt, $20 at the Thrift. Misfits wristband, $30. Jinkos, $140 at Rogue. The chain got it for free at Rogue. Shoes are Adidas from the 2000s, $30 at the Thrift. Random ass belt from the Thrift. The chain is from my dad's old wallet. And the watch was from my mom, Casio. The earring is homemade.
Hello, yes. Welcome to Podcast. I am your host Lily Abernathy, and definitely not former KGB spy Nadia Novikov. Ha ha ha. I apologize for the several breaks we've had the last month or so. Life has been extremely busy. This episode doesn't really have anything to do with Darren Carter, the party starter. He was just a to me one time, and I wanted to do the flashlight title card. Also, I'm sure being grouped in the same category with Darren would just drive Bryan and Brendan out of their little minds. I will say, however, that Darren is an extremely sad of comedy. I mean, imagine someone doing the same act for probably 20 years and then always finishing with the same bit. I mean, everyone listening knows how I feel about Bert, but at least he had the decency to craft an incredibly poor written story to retell every night of his life. Way better than bringing up a personal branded pocket flashlight to use as a prop. What are you? A bold mongoloid version of Carrot Top stuck in a night at the Roxbury? Speaking of Bert, dude has absolutely lost his mind since his daughters went to college. Guy is just full on recording content, in thongs, and shopping at sex stores with his hillbilly wife. The Russian mafia get serious. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but being funny isn't actually a prerequisite to being a professional comedian. And don't even get me started on being creative. Superhero movies are boring and repetitive. Yeah, sure, I agree, but so is listening to Rogan have 3-hour podcasts of the same stories over and over. Then the entire scene sees him make money. So it's all just a giant cycle of people being like, oh, the half-monkey midget can do it, so can I. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe you could, but that would require you to have a work ethic, which very few comedians have. I mean, just look at Jake Flores. Honestly, the goal for most of them is just to make a living doing as little as actually possible. They forget the product comes first and then the money. If they do become successful, they almost certainly become a caricature of themselves. A couple weeks ago, I had a meeting with an AI company that contacted me to ask what the I was doing. I was in the top 0.01% of users for their program, and I agreed to talk to them if they agreed to discuss potential advertising for the BPN. One of the questions they asked me was, why are you doing this? After explaining who Joe Gorman was and how I was tired of seeing him on Real Ass Podcast instead of Robbie, I continued to explain to them that I continue to do this because watching talentless hacks repeat themselves over and over and make millions doing it irritates the living out of me. And look, I'm not surprised. This is a country of people who would rather rewatch The Office for the 19th time because it's like safety blanket for their brain. So listening to the same people telling you the same story over and over while they tell it to their guest that could give two about being there makes sense. There's a clip of my personal friend Liam Gallagher, the singer of Oasis, explaining why music in general kind of sucks right now, and I have to agree with him. And I don't think it only applies to music, but just all forms of entertainment in general at the moment. I spent about 45 seconds looking for the clip and couldn't find it. So, here are the cliff notes. Liam basically says fans are and they don't know what they want. The artist is supposed to show them what they want. Music has become dull because the industry is allowing the fans to tell them what to make. Same with movies, TV, comedy, and podcasts. Anything new and creative is almost instantly axed because everyone would rather consume the same recycled. I mean, a spin-off of the Big Bang Theory starts next month. Like, what the f***? And while I agree with Liam's statement, I think it goes a bit further. Sure, the industries are listening to what the fans are telling them they want. But you also have huge players in these industries telling people what they should be paying attention to as well. Rogan is a huge culprit of this. Anytime he has a comedian on, he constantly talks them up and promotes them, and I get it. These people are your, in quotations, friends, and you want to expose them large audience. It'll probably change their lives, and I'm sure that's a great high to experience on an almost daily basis. Just look at Kill Tony. Show is beyond success. Not because it's good, creative, or funny, but because Rogan constantly talks its off and acts like it's some cornerstone of comedy. And the closeted gay host who I don't think has ever had a real friend in his life, even as a child, gets to shit on you to help his career. Sounds fun. Tony also loves propping up hacks and for whatever reason finding physically crippled people to perform comedy for him, like their A-side show from the 30s. Seems like something we should be promoting as the cornerstone of comedy, right? Kill Tony, watch Dork Court. New season next week. Oh, and Redban, I know you listen to the podcast. How the f*** are you going to block Dalton on X, formerly Twitter, but not me? God, you're such a faggot. It's truly wild how much information RSS feed analytics and those fun little maps give you. Like a bit scary. But enough about that charity case, Redban, and I'll get to forever friendless Tony here in the near future. Let's talk about some other people. Rogan likes to constantly promote, or used to constantly promote. Pretty sure they only get to show up for the MMA orgy watch-alongs. Super duper successful actor and totally not a rapist in the 90s. Bryan Callen and his associate, future CTE Brain Research Corps, Brendan Schaub. You've heard about trickle-down economics and pyramid schemes, right? Well, these two are in the same vein. And to make it worse, they aren't really comedians either. Bryan is a failed actor, and Schaub is a failed athlete. Ego. I mean, Alan hit the clip of Schaub crying.
Dude, I could die tomorrow. I've had a great life. I'm a cat. I've had 9 lives career-wise. I played football, and it was such a good time. I was in the UFC. Oh my God, the things I did, it was so cool. Stand up? Are you joking me, dude? Oh my God. Some of the best times ever. I'm so lucky. I've done cool shit. I've done cool shit with this guy. We've done cool shit. Nothing is better
It's true.
than that.
It's true.
Sorry.
It's worth crying over.
Yep. I'm just happy.
It's the only thing it's the only thing that gets me going too.
Just happy.
That's amazing.
Did
That's
you-
amazing, dude.
Hit Alan. Hit the clip of Schwab flipping the truck. I love that one.
Starting emergency call to the SOS service provided by the manufacturer. To cancel, press the SOS or cancel button. Starting SOS call.
I mean, what am I going to say about these two that most of you don't already know? Are they both known to be creepy bro dudes who have had several stories about the subject circulate? Yup. Are they actually good at comedy, or have they just been propped up by their rich, influential friend who will almost certainly distance himself from them anytime any type of controversy is brought up? Well, we all know the answer to that. Will they make up stories about other people and threaten them to create a controversy so they get views? Alan hit the clip.
Let me say this one more time so there's no confusion. Bobby, I'm sorry. You were 100% right. I was 100% wrong. There are no excuses. There are no excuses with the way I spoke to you. You didn't deserve it. And I apologize unreservedly. I was an asshole. I was not the guy I want to be. And I deserve the criticism. So if you guys want to hate me, bring it. I deserve it. And I agree. And that's all. That's the best I can do. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to do better always. And I'll always be honest with you guys. I will always own up to my and because I can't sleep otherwise. I don't live my life otherwise.
Do they distance themselves from each other when controversies about the other are brought into the mainstream? Alan hit the clip.
Just the fighter and the kids. T-Fat K, put a Z on the end. Brendan Malik and Chappelle, everybody going in. Wake up early in the morning, press play and let's get it in. Cause we rocking with the fighter and he rolling with the kids. Fighter and the kids, fighter and the kids, fighter and the kids.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Is Bryan really as well read and cultured as he would like you to believe? Hard no on that one. Is the gringo puppy himself really as funny as Daddy Rogan once wanted you to believe? Neither here nor there, nor will you ever really find out. But it's quite possible someone, for sure not myself, did his act verbatim right after him and caused a bit of a stir. So hard no on that one too. Have I met both of these men in person? Sure. Do they like me? I wouldn't say so. Do I like them? I think we all know the answer to that. At some point long ago, you could say that for some of the people in the Rogan verse, I had at least some level of respect for, but then you meet them and all that just goes out the window. I actually used to live right up the road from the ice house during the Death Squad days. I was really living it up then. And my landlord was a woman who went by the stage name Marilyn Monrovia, an absolutely psychotic who did comedy pretending to be Marilyn Monroe. I've tried incredibly hard to find a clip of this, but unfortunately cannot. It is utterly atrocious. and I would pay a decent amount of money just to have 30 seconds to show you all. She had enormous tits and was scamming her current husband out of all his money and probably poisoning him in the process every day as well. We won't bring up her husband's name, but he was incredibly good friends with Jay Leno, who I've met a number of times and have also been to his infamous garage. Nice guy, Jay, friend of the show even. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Podcast with Nadia Novikov. Lily Abernathy. Igor, you are really going to have to clean up the names on this one. You know we can this mission up. Putin will have our heads after what happened last time. Follow us at Podcast the Pod on X, formerly Twitter, for all the latest news about the pod. This has been Lily Abernathy, signing off.
In the shadows lurk the jokes, looking for the spark to smoke, grabbing coattails like a rope, hiding where the lives are broke, chasing stars for borrowed light, fading quick in fame's bright night, talking smack but out of sight, dreaming big with all their might. The sad of comedy, standing there so self-assuredly, tagging on to someone else's ride, feeling empty deep inside. Living off another's fame, playing in a losing game. Names are whispered just the same, no one knows their claim to fame. Fake it till you make it bold, but their story's getting old. Try to shine but can't break the mold, same old tales again retold. The sad of comedy, standing there so self-assuredly, tagging on to someone else's ride, feeling empty deep inside. The sad of comedy, standing there so self-assuredly, tagging on to someone else's ride, feeling empty deep inside.